tell yourself what you need to hear today?
Storms happen. Storms are natural. It's all about how you weather them. It's all about how you navigate through them. But you will make it through the storm. You have before and you always will. So just put on your raincoat, baby.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Pretty Suited Podcast, where we discuss career, culture, and the commitment to being our best selves. I'm your host, Lauren A. I couldn't have said it better myself, guys. We have reached midsummer. And as I don't know where you live, but in Georgia, it's been raining. Okay. So I thought that clip was very fitting. But it's also as a metaphor because it has been not only raining physically, but in the world, it's been raining metaphorically as well. I don't know where you've been. If you've been under a rock, good for you, because lately life has been lifing. And not necessarily personally, but I think globally, nationally, internationally, whatever you want to call life has been lifing in many different ways. Like, I feel like, in this day and age, we live through a pivotal time literally every day. It's something new going on every single day. And I'm not going to lie, that's kind of why I haven't really been so active on Pretty Suited. You would think that it'll be the opposite, where I would want to be more active on Pretty Suited because, stuff is going on in the world. But lately, I just haven't been inspired, unfortunately, because this world has been going crazy. And so, I'm trying to process it. I'm trying to figure out what it is that I want to do. I'm sitting up here Googling how to get to Canada. Like, the world has been doing its own thing. It has been wearing black Air Forces lately, and I'm not feeling it. So it just took me a second to process a lot that's been going on. And honestly, this is helpful. This is very helpful because I get to kind of talk about it a little bit. And so, despite all that's going on, you still have to find some kind of way to move forward, still go after your goals, still try to figure out how to be happy and to take care of your own mental health. So I thought that Issa Rae clip was very fitting to start today's episode. So, lately I've been trying to stay on an up and up. Honestly, I did attend Christopher Maurice Brown's concert. He did come to Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and when I tell you guys, that was an experience. Okay, I just gonna go ahead and say it. It's probably one of the best concerts I've ever attended. Hot take? No. Honestly, it was. And we know Christopher's history. I'm calling him Christopher like I know him. We all know Christopher's history, and we know that he has done a few things that we know, of course, we do not agree with in the past when it comes to the domestic violence conversation with Rihanna. And we understand that. I think he's atoned for it. I believe that he has pleaded and showcased his sorrow and regret and healing from that situation. So I don't want to hold it against him, especially since he was so young. And you haven't quite heard any instances after that of him doing that because, a repeat offender, that's a different conversation. But yeah, I think he's atoned for it. But despite those issues, despite those things against him, that boy is talented. Point blank period, the boy is talented. One of the greats that we have during this time period. And that concert really showcased that for me. I saw him in the past, like at an amphitheater a couple years ago, and it's a little bit different when you see somebody in an amphitheater versus in an arena, right? The amphitheater, you got your blanket, got some wine coolers on the grass, you just watching from outside. It's pretty cool. It's pretty chill. But in the theater, in the arena where you have the lights, the production, the stage, the props, the dancers, like he put on a show. He even brought out the old school Petri dish from the Take You Down video when we were younger. Like, he brought that out. He floating through the air and all that. Like, I mean, you've seen the clips. The man did his thing during this concert, during this tour, the 11/11 tour, and I had a blast. I literally, a friend of mine was able to get some tickets to a suite, and so it just made the concert even better. Just sitting in a suite with the food and the drinks that was available. The bathroom is right outside the curtain. It was a vibe, and I really, really enjoyed myself. So shout out to Chris Brown for putting on one of the best concerts I've ever seen. And shout out to his dancers too, because honestly, those dancers, they be dancing. Okay, like dancing is one of those things where you know about it, you done it before, you're in the living room dancing and all that good stuff, but it's nothing, absolutely nothing compared to a professional dancer who literally goes up and down the stairs onto the stage, does a number, a intense number, goes off the stage, come back, goes off the stage, come back again, depending on the song. It was choreographed, it was coordinated. Shout out to them for being pretty much athletes when it comes to dancing with a performer like Chris Brown. So yeah, that was amazing. Lately, I've been kind of feeling a little bit like outside is cool. I've been doing, different activities, whether it's some kind of wine festival or some kind of escape room, putt, whatever Atlanta has to offer. I've been pretty much doing it. So I've enjoyed myself. However, I must say, this brings me to my first topic. Going out in your 30s is a little bit different. Nobody talks about how different going out in your 30s are compared to your 20s. And let me explain what I mean by that. And I'm not saying that, I'm an old biddy. I'm not saying that I am just too mature for everything. I'm not saying that. But what I want to bring up is how going out differs depending on the phase you're in your life. Hopefully, when you're a teenager, you are literally down for anything. You're just happy to be outside. Okay, you're happy to be out of your parents, eyesight. You're just trying to sneak. You're trying to figure life out. You're trying to discover new things. That's great. In your 20s, if you go to college or if you don't go to college, you have a little bit more independence, of course, because you're grown, right? If you are in school or if you pay your own bills, you're just like, my parents aren't around. I can literally do what I want. I have to rein myself in because I can do what I want. And I still have to balance responsibility, but life is still fun. I can recover quickly, all the things, get drunk, but then, also the next day go to work at 6 a.m. You just have that agility when you are in your 20s. When you reach your 30s, that kind of changes. And for me, it even changed in my late 20s, I feel like, because I just felt like I explored the scene and it was great. And I just understood that I saw it, it's but so much you can do. It's but so many grass walls you can stand in front of with the neon sign. It's but so many different times you can hear that playlist that DJ played this week and the week before and the week before that. So, you go out just for the sake of going out, but the whole going out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and then going to work on Monday thing, that's a dub. Nobody's doing that, okay? And not in your 30s. Well, I didn't. Let me just speak for myself. But in your 30s, I feel like, when I go out with my friends, I want it to be intentional. I feel like I love a good vibe. I love a good restaurant. I'm a foodie, so find me a really good restaurant where I can go with my friends. I'm down. I don't care what kind of food it is. If it's Italian, if it's cantina Mexican, if it is pho, or whatever the case may be, I'm there. As long as the energy is good, the food is good, the service is good. That's important, okay? The service, okay? When you're in your 20s, you might can deal with a little bit of lackluster service, but in your 30s, service is a part of going out. If I'm going to go out, I need to be serviced well. So you make sure you attend places where you know the service is good. I don't care how good the food is. I don't. If the service is trash, I really don't want to go. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think that you cannot trade one for the other in your 30s. Outside of the service and the food, I want to say I like activities now. I like to, go out in nature. I like to go on trails and see different waterfalls and mountains. And I want to do some glamping. I want to, paint. I want to do, different kind of trivia escape rooms. Like I want to do things that involve the mind, activities, good conversation. Like that matters to me more than just maybe going to a lounge or going to a club. You can miss me with that because by the time I get there, I'm probably going to want to leave in about 30 minutes. And actually, this woman on Instagram summed it up for me pretty good. So just watch this video.
Brunch looks so different for me now. Look, I want to get dressed and I want to go to a regular restaurant to eat food. I am not trying to go to no brunch where I'm drinking a 7-tower mimosa filled with tequila, Hennessy, Curacao, or whatever else. I am not trying to nuck if you buck. I am not trying to pray for times like this so I can rhyme like this. I ain't trying to do none of that. No, I don't want to pay $50 for parking just to get into brunch. No, I don't want to pay for a section just to sit down and eat some Fruity Pebble red velvet with the powdered sugar and fried chicken with hella syrup as my meal. Oh, I don't want to eat no $80 lamb chops with grits with the Jamaican jerk seasoning. Like, I'm so good on that. And no, I don't want a hookah. Look, a couple years ago, a hookah was a must. It was a necessary wherever we go. But now, I don't need a hookah. I really don't need a hookah. Me and my boyfriend, we went out of town. We tried to smoke a hookah. And let me tell you something. We was down for 2 days. Our chest, our lungs, I felt congestion. I couldn't even breathe the next day. So no, I don't need a hookah. Give me a regular restaurant where I can dress up really cute. Give me a little jazz music in the background. Let me get a couple flicks of that. And I'm headed home to my man, okay? That's how I know I'm 30.
So you see what I'm saying? Like it has to be intentional. Okay. The girls, I love the girlies. I have done this several times myself, but depending on my mood, the girls that are twerking on the tables while I'm trying to eat my lamb chops or my shrimp and grits, I might throw a little I might throw a little congratulatory, hand in the air. But after a while, baby girl, sit down. I'm trying to eat. I'm distracted. There's all kinds of bodily fluids going all over the place. I don't want that near my food. So, this is going left. But I just feel like, again, it's a time and a place for everything. It's a time and a place about depending on my mood of how I would like to celebrate or hang with friends. Do I want to be stuffy all the time? No. Would I like to hear a good 90s and 2000s soundtrack while I eat? Absolutely. Would I like my parking to be decently priced or free? Absolutely. Would I like to be in a place that has complimentary valet? Sure. These are the things that I'm looking for in my 30s, okay? The things that allow convenience and the things that provide good service. I'm at the age now where I don't mind spending a little bit extra to get what I want. Do I want to break my wallet? No. But I understand that you get what you pay for in a lot of situations. So, if it's cheap, then it's probably something wrong with it. And so sometimes you kind of have to make the executive decision if you want to pay a little bit extra to be serviced well and convenienced. So, Yeah, going down in your 30s, it's fun. I say, life is not over. There's a lot of girls that are going home, going to work, going home, then going to work, and then going home again. And we wonder why, we feel unfulfilled. We wonder why we life passes us by, and then we're, end up being 40, 50, 60 plus, and then just have regrets. So I definitely don't want that to happen. So while I have breath in my body, while I'm healthy, I want to be able to live and create memories, because I think that is the most important. Whether it's with my man, whether it's with my friends, whether it's with my family, I feel like experiences is really what makes life worth living. And this doesn't always have to be expensive. I think that the economy is crazy the way it is now. And so you can find things that aren't quite expensive, but still have that experience with the ones that you love. So that's my priority right now. While the world is burning and going straight to hell and doing some crazy things, my intention is to create great experiences, because that's what I'll have. That's what I'll take with me. So speaking of being convenience, we all heard about the crazy, crazy outages that's been happening. Like, if you're a corporate girly like myself, your career or your area may have been affected by this whole thing. They say that it was a cyber attack or some kind of cyber update that kind of crippled a lot of businesses, because it's all tied together. So whether you were in healthcare, whether you're in hospitality, whether you're in transportation, whatever the case may be, there were delays. And so a lot of things were affected. I know in healthcare specifically, a lot of physicians couldn't use certain features to document. Microsoft Outlook was kind of going wanky, which so a lot of people wasn't a bad thing. Let's be honest here. I hear the Teams call in my sleep sometimes. So not being able to send an email or to have a meeting about a meeting was not that bad. But, in a lot of different things, in a lot of different ways, it was a bad thing, because they couldn't do their job because those things or those applications weren't available. So, but it was crippling. And one way that it did affect me personally was I was actually planning on going on a trip to New York in the past week. And unfortunately, while it was a thing, if you've ever been to Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, that airport is the busiest airport in the world. And it held up to its name very recently because a lot of people were stuck at that airport. A lot of flights were delayed. They kept delaying and delaying. People, had their flights canceled. They had to be placed up in hotels or sleeping at the airport. And what I'm not going to do is put myself in a position to where I have to be delayed someplace and I can't get back. So I said, Lauren, let's make an executive decision and postpone this trip. And I was quite sad about it, honestly, because I wanted to see my family. I had some plays on Broadway lined up. I had some restaurants I wanted to try out with my friends who live up there. So I was quite hurt that I couldn't do it. But I just wanted to, be proactive. I wanted to just make sure I didn't set myself up for failure, because there's people still literally sleeping at the airport waiting to go home. They can't get a rental car. They can't do anything. So I didn't want to be in that position at all. So hopefully this can get fixed very soon. Honestly, I think it's very corny that a lot of the same work sectors are connected by the same thing. So of course, if a cyber attack were to happen, we're going to be jacked up because we all use the same applications and because everything is linked together digitally. So, this is just only scaring me for, what the future may hold, because, a lot of people's job is tied up to the internet and tied up to the same software. And so what will happen in the future if this happens and it's a complete blackout and people can't even do their job or get paid? So yeah, they need to clean this up. I don't know if I'm going to use my refund or my credit to go someplace else. Push come to shove, I need to go to somebody's island and be on the beach or something. I don't know, but they need to clear this up so that way people can travel, because you messing up the flow. It's the summertime. People don't have time to be sitting here not going on vacation and using their PTO. Okay. So that brings me to, my next topic. When it comes to being at work, when it comes to being the person who doesn't quite set boundaries for themselves, being the nice guy, being super duper accommodating. This girl on Instagram basically mentions how being too nice can get you used and abused. Check this clip out.
You being the good girl is not getting you where you think it's getting you. Let me explain. You being a laid back girl who doesn't ask for much, and I just love and I forgive and I give grace and I just have a heart of gold, and I don't know, like I was just made to pour into people, and I was just made to like show people what real love is. That's not getting you anywhere but overlooked, overworked, and underpaid, underappreciated, undervalued. Being passive gets you nowhere but pass by. I'm just being honest. In my own experience, giving and 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 giving just got me used up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to lie. If you're not charging, they're not gonna pay. You just give because you just want to be the good girl. It's not going to make the world pay you what you're worth, see your worth, appreciate you, give you your flowers while you're here and can smell them. It's not going to make that man commit, give you a ring, honor you, respect you. Trying to love them into doing it is only going to get you overworked and underpaid. It's going to get you the short end of the stick and breadcrumbs.
She said if you don't put a price on it, they won't pay. Okay. And not in a prostitution kind of way or a sex work kind of way. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you not putting enough value in yourself to where people feel like you're not valuable. So they're going to treat you as such. They're going to utilize all your resources. They're going to take your kindness for weakness. They're going to literally, whatever you're going to give, they're going to receive it. And that kind of user energy, that kind of, leeching energy is never going to satisfy you. It's never going to fulfill you. So she made a valid point. Don't be rude to people. Don't be, selfish with, yourself or your resources. Nobody's saying that. But what we're saying is that the consistent misuse of your kindness and your accommodation to the point where you have nothing left, to the point where they're not reciprocating internet energy for you, that's never a good situation. That's never a good situation. And, you have to be careful because there is a balance. There is a balance. Because honestly, naturally, I'm a nice person. Naturally, I am the type of person that I, enjoy helping people. I am the type of person where I enjoy being there for people. I enjoy giving back. And when it comes to, the information that I know or teaching or things like that, I'm just naturally that kind of person. And I treat people with respect. I don't care if you are the janitor or the CEO. I treat you with respect. Okay. If you treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. So it's naturally in me. However, I understand I'm a firm believer in boundaries. I'm a firm believer in do unto others as you would have them do unto you, as your grandma would say. But then at the same time, you're not going to play in my face. Okay. You're not going to play in my face to the point where I am not getting anything from our exchange, because then why are you here? You see what I'm saying? It's one thing for you to do a kind act for a person and not expect anything back. Right. So, for example, if you were to pick up something off the top shelf for a little old lady. I'm not going to turn around and say to the little old lady, well, you owe me $5 or you owe me a favor because I did that for you. No, right? That's ridiculous. You're not going to just do things just for the sake of getting something in return, because then it's not genuine. However, I don't expect anything back from that lady. If it was somebody who was like a constant in my life and they were always asking and asking and asking and taking and taking and taking from me, and weren't it wasn't, able to pour anything into me or help me in any way or benefit my life in any way, then I would say that's a one-sided situation. So who's benefiting here? Them. And so at the end of the day, you can't consider yourself my friend, or you can't consider yourself, someone who loves me if you don't pour into me or benefit my life in any way. I just don't see that being a thing. And people will literally gaslight you and say and think that you're obligated, or make you feel like you're obligated to help them or do something for them just because y'all are related, or I known you for a long time, or you got it, why are you gonna give it to me? No. That's not how this works, okay? If I do something for you, this out of the kindness of my heart, and I feel that you are appreciative of the things that I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? It's a huge difference. So she was absolutely right. I feel like, we all have to do our jobs to hold ourselves accountable to our boundaries. And again, boundaries and narcissism and all these buzzwords that we are using now, they can be misused. Everybody's not a narcissist. Everybody's not, love bombing. Everybody's not doing all these things that these memes or whatever is talking about. You have to use your own discernment. You have to ask God for discernment. You have to do your own research to figure out what's really going on, so that way you can make the right decision. But I think that a lot of times we ignore, red flags. We ignore things that we know isn't right, just for the sake of being nice, or for the sake of being kind, and we end up doing ourselves a disservice in the end after that. So yeah, just put a little bit more thought into it, and be kind, be helpful to people, but don't let them use you. This also can be a thing at work too. I think a lot of times when you are a person who is known to do things the right way, or to be efficient at something at work, they'll take that and run with it. So when it comes to, let's say if you're really good at graphic design and you have a whole team who actually does graphic design, but they single you out and they give you the most assignments, or the most important assignments, because of your skill set. And while that can be seen as a compliment, I think that a lot of times leadership can use that to make themselves look better, because they understand that you do a very good job and you're going to make them look good. So again, if you're getting compensated for it, sure. If you're getting additional money or an additional look or additional accolades for those things, then that's fine. But if it's to the point where I'm doing all the work, but everybody's getting the everybody's getting the benefits of it, and I'm not, being compensated for it, I don't know if that's fair. I had to tell my boss that one time. I feel like, I consider myself a good employee. I consider myself somebody who's very competent in what I do. So it's going to reflect in my work. And my boss was like, yeah, ask Lauren. Take it to Lauren. Lauren will get it. Lauren will do it. Lauren, can you get this to me about it? And it's almost to the point where it was like, okay, first of all, what is everybody else doing? Because I don't see it. Okay. I don't see it. And then once, it comes out and the work is done, is good, then we as a team, we did a good job. No, we didn't. I did a good job. And again, this is not even my character to take all the credit for things. But if it's a group effort, it's a group effort. and it should be promoted as a group effort. But if it's something that, I have done and to boost everyone's image but my own, oh, we have a problem. Because I'm not stupid. Okay. So a conversation was had. I don't think it was intentional. It could have been. I mean, people do things. But a conversation was had. And I think that once that happened, more of the love was spread out. And I think a lot of that, honestly, too, just getting off of the ego part of it, you don't do your team a service if one person is developing more. So if you have a team of people who are supposedly on the same level and doing the same thing, you want your team to be strong. You don't just want one person to be strong. So you want to give the team the opportunity to rise to the occasion. So even if that takes extra courses, developmental courses, if it takes, additional training, if it takes, even just, more work so that they can work out that muscle, it's important for you to stretch everyone in the things that they're good at or the things that they want to develop in. So that way everybody in the team is being strong. That's called professional development. So you're doing yourself and your team a disservice by only leaning on the ability of one person. So again, don't let anybody use you when it comes to that kind of stuff. Make sure you're getting the compensation or accolade for your service. There is no I in team, but there is an I in stupid. So now let's get into our watch list of the week. So this week's watch list of the week comes from a movie that is kind of childish, but then again, it's not. I don't know about you guys, but I love a good Pixar movie. I think some of those movies, have really good messages in them. And the one that I'm talking about this week is Inside Out 2. Now, if you have kids, you probably have seen it. But if you haven't had kids, and you really just want to watch a good, animated movie, this is one of them. The first Inside Out was really, really good. The premise of the story is that this, girl has these emotions going on in her body, and you see the emotions play out in a way that, each one is a character and they're basically kind of standing out in a different way. So for example, the girl might need, joy a little bit more today. She might be a little sad today. So as she's growing up, these new emotions are coming along. So in Inside Out 2, she's a teenager now. So of course her emotions are going to change from when she's like an adolescent or a young kid. So now as a teenager, what emotions did you feel as a teenager? You had anxiety, you had melancholy or like unbothered emotions, you had embarrassed, because you're always embarrassed when you're a teenager. And then, of course, sweet little nostalgia. Bless her little heart. The little old lady just kept coming out. We was like, no, nostalgia. Go back in the closet. We'll get you. So, but anyways, in this movie, the anxiety was kind of the character who basically took over when it came to the young girl's mind. So instead of her having joy and, just fun stuff that kids will have, anxiety literally took over. She started off real sweet, and then she just literally was like, no, I know what she wants. And the message that I took away from it was that a lot of times in our life, we can really be anxious about something that didn't even happen yet. That's all anxiety is the feeling, the nervousness that you feel about something that didn't happen yet. So in life, of course, you can have so many different scenarios of what can go wrong or what can go right. But when those things literally flood our mind and we really can't even move forward because the anxiety is so crippling, that can be a problem. And so as a teenager, you're thinking in your mind, well, if I do this, they're going to laugh at me. If I do this, then I'm never going to get chosen. If I do this, then I'm not going to get into that school. If I do this. So all the things that you want to do, you constantly going over in your mind 100 different times and ways because anxiety has you fearful. And so it goes beyond fear. It's literally crippling. So I really enjoyed that movie. I feel like as an adult, we can really take that message ourselves too and understand that you not going forward with your goals or you not doing the things that you really want to do because of anxiety and what could happen, you're only doing yourself a disservice. And it's just really not the way to go. And regardless of what your age is, it's a thing. Anxiety is a thing. I deal with anxiety myself, in a lot of different ways, whether it's career, whether it's in a relationship or friendship, whatever the case may be. But you just can't let it cripple you. You can't let it prevent you from going after your goals or, continuing on in a relationship or a friendship. Like, you just can't do it. As you become an adult, you have to become a little bit more brave, despite your anxiety, because you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. It's going to happen. But just what do you do to overcome that and have faith that it's going to work itself out? So if you have not seen it, go watch it. It's Inside Out 2. It's really good. And it's not just for the kiddies. You can watch it yourself too. So now let's get into our tune of the week. So this week's tune of the week is by a woman who I've been listening to for a couple years now. I may have had her for a tune of the week before, but her name is Leia. And if you've been under the rock, I'm not quite sure if you have not heard the song she did called Sailor Moon. It was all over the internet. And she also had a song. She kind of took Brandy's I Want to Be Down sample and made it into a song. She slowed it down. I really love Leia. She's such a vibey kind of singer. She's not a singer, but she's like a vibey singer. Like if you want to, hang out with your girlfriends, if you want to go out to eat, if you just want to chill and clean around the house, it's the perfect music for that. She recently came out with a single titled Ain't Sad About It. So in this song, it goes along with her catalog. It's definitely a Leia song. It's definitely a bop. But what I like about this song is that, the whole theme of this episode is setting boundaries and making sure that, you're doing what's best for you at your grown ass age. And this is what Leia is talking about. She's talking about, yes, we had a thing. Yes, it was great in that moment, but we're not together anymore. And I ain't sad about it. Okay. We're not spinning the block. That's many people like to do these days. We're not spinning the block. We're not revisiting this. You're not going to keep calling me. You're not going to cross my boundaries. You're not going to pop up. No, I ain't sad about it. Let's go ahead and cut our ties and keep it moving. And so, it's one of those songs that you need, whether you're going through a breakup, whether you're doing something or you left a job, whatever the case may be. I ain't sad about it. It is what it is. Let's keep it pushing. So if you're looking for something like that for your summertime playlist, check it out. It is Leia, I Ain't Sad About It. So that brings us to the end of our episode. I hope that you guys have liked, shared, and subscribed this episode and this channel. Hopefully it won't rain the rest of the summer and I can go outside a little bit more, maybe go on a vacation, use my Delta credit, and enjoy myself. And I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves too. It's been a pretty good summer so far, but the world is going crazy. So, please fill up your cup. Make sure that your, friends and family are good. Make sure that your finances are good because, you just never know what can happen. But I hope you guys will tune in next time. And as always, you cannot manifest the life you don't feel like you deserve. So create the life that you want and look to the sky for grace. Until next time, bye.